Hey YouTube, I'm back to give you an update on my car shopping adventures. So first of all, I just want to say, mission accomplished, okay? Mission accomplished, feeling like a champ. Feeling like a champion. Successfully found a car. It's home, it's in the garage right now. But needless to say, my story was crazy. Started crazy. You saw part one. If you didn't see part one, check out part one. It was craziness. The second part of the story is just as crazy as the first. So let's jump right in. So after discussing it with my wife, we decide that it's best for us to get an older vehicle where the car payment would be relatively low, if we have one at all. We actually like some of the cars at that used car lot. So even though the guy wouldn't let me look at the car without seeing my license, I still like some of the cars there. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to let this guy get in the way of my blessing, right? Because I was praying about it. I asked God for a car. I believe God was going to deliver it to me. And I'm not going to let anybody stand in the way of my blessing. So after a few days of talking to my wife, I persuaded her that this car is awesome, okay? This is the car for us. All right, so after deciding on the car, we make the decision. I'm going to go back to the credit union. Why? Because they had great rates. The lady wasn't that nice, but I figured, you know what? They got great rates. Another person, I'm not going to let them get in the way of my blessing. All right, so I call the credit union, talk to the same lady I talked to last time. I call her up and I tell her, we think we found a car, all right? I know it was quick, but we think we found the car that we want to get. She's like, okay, sir, just go ahead and shoot over the information and we'll see if we can get it approved for you. All right, so I'm like, okay, you know what? No problem. No problem. I'll fax it over to you. So I fax over the documentation. She tells me she's going to call me back in like 30 minutes and let me know if there's an approval or if there's not an approval. Of course. She had to throw that in there. So about a half hour later, completely different lady calls me up. Now when I say that, I mean it was the same exact lady, but she was just talking to me completely differently. So she calls me up, hello, sir. And I'm like, yeah, hey, what's up? She's like, I just wanted to call and tell you that you're approved. You're approved. Congratulations. And I'm like, oh, is that right? I'm approved. Yeah, well, I had no doubt that I would be approved, but apparently you did. So she called me up. She's all pumped. I was there. We talked about different price ranges and how you would give me kind of an approval as to how much you guys could approve me for. And she was like, just let us know how much you want. And I'm like, what? That's a completely different tone than what we had before. So I was like, all right, you know what? Don't worry about it. Thank you for the approval. We're going to go down to the dealership and make sure we wrap stuff up, and I'll keep you posted. So I asked her what the next steps were. She said, all you got to do is just call me when you're ready to get the vehicle. You can stop by. You got to sign a little bit of paperwork, and then you get the check. I'm like, is that simple? She's like, yes, it is. All right, so here's where it gets real crazy. All right, so I decide, you know what? I'm going to do my due diligence, okay? I'm going to spend some time researching the vehicle that I've selected thoroughly. Got the approval. It can be ours if we want it, right? And I'm like, you know what? Let me do my due diligence and do some research. So I start researching. And wouldn't you know, this car has issues, okay? There's a recall on the transmission for that year. It has problems. Now, it didn't affect all of them. So some people had some major problems where they had to replace the transmission a couple times. And some people loved the vehicle altogether. They absolutely loved it. It was the best car they ever had, some people said. So now I'm on the hot seat. It's like, what do I do? Do I go with it or do I not go with it? So I spend the next 2 days driving my wife absolutely crazy. Okay, I drove her absolutely crazy. So every minute of the day, I'm doing research. I'm seeing what people said about the car, and I'm staying up all night. I can't sleep. So you know what? I'm driving her crazy. And she, you know what? She's so supportive. You know what? I'm gonna give her a shout out. Shout out to Natural Me 4C. Okay, I'm gonna give her a little shout out. She's over there on the couch. All right. I'm gonna give her a little shout out. She's so supportive. Babe, if you really want the car, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine if you get the car. Don't worry about it. I can't sleep Saturday night. Sunday morning I wake up and I say, you know what? Changing it completely. I want a different car that they have there. So it just so happens they had an additional car that we were interested in. But a completely different car. And she's like, I can't believe you're changing your mind. It's something completely different. So I tell her, you know what? Babe, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. The transmission would have blown. I would have cost this family extra money. I can't live like that, right? I can't live under that stress. I can't sleep now and I only had a car. Imagine when I had the car. So this happens about 8 o'clock, 8:30 Sunday morning. So the dealership doesn't open till noon, right? So I tell my wife at about 9 o'clock, I'm like, babe, I'm going down to the dealership. And she's like, what? Why are you going down to the dealership? They don't open till noon. And I'm like, I'm going to go down to the dealership. Look, I just want the peace of mind. I want to make sure that the car that I want is still there. I want to be the first to talk to the guy to make sure that I get the car that I want. And we'll just take it from there. I'm okay with camping out for a little bit. I just want the peace of mind that it's there. The dealership's probably about 40 minutes away. Her response to me verbatim is, go sit down. She literally hits me with a, go sit down. Just go sit down. Be patient. Just wait. Go sit yourself down is what she says. Like, all right, 10:30 rolls around. I can't control it. I'm like, we gotta go. So she's like, all right, well, I'm coming too. So we pack everybody in the van. We have a van, by the way. We pack everybody in the van and we go down to the dealership. Now we get down to the dealership. And this is me at the dealership. We get down to the dealership and there's somebody else on the lot. All right, there's another family on the lot. So this is me getting out of the car. I try to look intimidating to get the other people to leave the lot, right? Because I don't want them looking at my car. So we get out of the car and I'm like, babe, don't walk over to the car. Don't walk over to the car that we want. My kids are like, Daddy, there it is. And I'm like, don't look at it. Don't look at it. So I try to be intimidating to get this other family to leave the lot so they don't see me looking at the car or try to compete with me, right? Because it's my car, right? I'm here. I got here. I know what I want. I know what I want to do. And I try to scare people off the lot. And it worked. I'm not going to say it didn't work. It worked, right? The lady grabbed her kids. She ran into the car. I said, you know what? I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed. I'm not embarrassed. I told you I feel like a champion, okay? I told you at the top of the video, I felt like a champion because I got the car that I wanted, right? Now, sometimes you got to use tactics you wouldn't normally use, all right? Sometimes you got to scare a child, okay? It happens. I'm okay with doing that as long as I get what I need. All right, so after a while, around 12 o'clock, the guy rolls in, right? My buddy, the older guy from the last video. He rolls in. I see him roll in. He goes into the office. He waves to me. He's like, oh, my gosh. He waves to me, right? He goes into the office. I follow him in the office, right? I'm impatient. I've been there for an hour already. Thought you may be a little early. I'm impatient. So I go in there and I'm like, you know what? I think I want to switch things up. I want to go with this other car. And he's like, okay. Now, meanwhile, he's held the other car for me. He's got my name on it and everything. I'm like, sorry to do this to you, bud, but I got to switch things up. Okay, I don't want that car. And he's like, all right, let me get you the keys and I'll throw a tag on there for you. So, all right, no problem. So we take this car for a test drive. It's great. Throws me the keys, throws me the tag, take it for a ride. All right, so we take it for a ride and we love it, right? We love the car. I love the car. I'm ready. I'm ready to buy. I go in and I'm like, you know what? I think we'll take it. I definitely want to take it, but I want to take it. I want to run it by a mechanic. And the guy says, you're wasting your time. Take it to a mechanic. We're a certified dealer here, okay? We inspect all our vehicles. And I'm like, whoa, time out. I'm not saying you're not. I'm not saying you're not telling me the truth. All I'm saying is I don't know you enough to trust you. So I'm not going to sit here and just give you my trust. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. I'm going to take it to a different mechanic and get them to take a look at it. He's like, you know what? You're allowed to. You know what? It's not a problem. You can take it to a different mechanic. I'm just telling you. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. So I was like, all right, well, I appreciate that. So I tell the guy, you know what? Maybe I'll stop by tomorrow morning, pick it up. He's like, you know what? Why don't you just take it? Same guy. Wouldn't let me even look at a car, right? Didn't let me have control over my own eyes to look into the car, right? Before getting a copy of my license. Now he's just going to give me the car for the way he go. Take it. Take it overnight. Take it. It's yours. Why? Why? Because he knows I went to the credit union. He knows I got the approval. They must be in cahoots. Because she may have told him, said, look, this dude's a buyer, so just give him whatever he wants. All right, so I go out with the tags, got the keys, and I'm stepping, right? I'm stepping. I'm feeling confident, getting into my car. I feel good about it. Feel good about what I've done. All right, so I go over to the car. I'm like, you know what? It's got a CD 6-disc changer, right? It's got a 6-disc changer. I don't want to make sure that thing works before I buy this car. So I go in and grab a little Brian McKnight. Shout out to Brian McKnight, right? I like Brian McKnight. So I grab a little Brian McKnight CD out of the van, and I'm walking back over to the car, and I see this guy pull up, and he's got a suit on. And he walks over like he's going to walk over to my car. So he sees me walking back to the car. I see him walking to the car. I told you I'm not afraid to intimidate somebody. So he's walking over to my car, and I said, boop, ram, bam, hit the button, make that thing chirp. So he knows, look, back up off my car. So he's going to my car, right? And then he makes like a left, like he's going to check out this Toyota. So then he looks at me, and he's like, what are you, taking the car out for a test drive there? And I was like, nope, I'm taking her home. And this dude says, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. So here's the issue, right? The car, I noticed it was test driven since the last time I was there, right? Because I looked at both of them the first time. So this guy may have been the one to test drive it. So I'm like, he said, are you serious? And I said, yep. So I'm putting the tag on, putting the CD in, and I'm looking all confident. Why? Because I was confident. I was feeling good. So I put it in, and he's like, it's a nice car there. And I said, yes, it is. That's it. And I got in and drove away. That's what happens. Now, the guy got mad. He get in his car, and he drives away. But I'm like, you know what? That's the reason why I was there early. All right, so I took the vehicle home, and it was great. It was great. It checked out. Everything was good. So we went back, and we bought it, right? Reached out to my lady credit union. She gave me the approval. She gave me the approval again on the new car. So everything was great. Got the check. Took it, bought it. The car's in the garage right now. Drives great. It's wonderful. For anybody who wants to know, it's 2002 Acura RL, right? It's nice. I like it. That's right. I got the RL, the big dog. I love it, and it rides great. So once again, just want to thank everybody for their advice. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video on my update on my car shopping adventure. And I also want to wish anybody out there good luck who's going to be buying a car in the near future. And if I had to do it all over again, I probably would make the same choices that I made. So once again, good luck to anybody who's doing it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks again for watching Ty Live. I'll see you guys soon in another video.